Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is your funny neighborhood Broadway barber coming to you from the Broadway Barber, home of the Lone Star Grooming Company, 1026 South Broadway Street in downtown, historic downtown Carrollton. That's right. That's where I'm at. That's where you find me every day, ladies and gentlemen, when you want to see Broadway Bob. That's me, Broadway Bob. What a wonderful name that is. Anyway, so what's going on? As you know, we have some elections coming up, or I guess you want to call them special elections, primaries and stuff that are going on. We have one right here in Texas. As you well know, we have John Cornyn and Ken Paxton. And just in case you haven't gone and did your voting, you might want to think about it. Go doing some voting. Don't let me influence you, but here's what I think. All right, it's my own opinion. You don't have to agree with me. I don't expect you to. Okay? Well, John Cornyn, what has he done to help us conservatives? Nothing. What has he done for Donald Trump? Nothing. He hasn't done nothing. He hasn't done nothing. In fact, he voted to impeach Donald Trump on a phony charge, and he went ahead, and he's also trying to get rid of our gun rights. He doesn't like guns. He doesn't think we should have them. You know, so there you go. So he's a rhino. You know, he's a rhino. And I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear when you say he's a rhino like John McCain. You know, because John McCain was supposed to be a war hero. Well, he probably was. But during his later life, he just went nuts. He went freaking nuts. And he lost any kind of respect. Anyway, that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Ken Paxton. You say, well, Ken Paxton cheated on his wife. I could give a crap less what he did. What I do care about, when I vote for somebody, I don't care about what they did in their life. Because there are a lot, you can always ask for, forgiveness. But I do care about what you're going to do for my country. What you're going to do to help me and the American people. All right? Not what you're going to do for the illegal aliens or all these other nut jobs that come into our country and hate our country and try to subdue our country into their way of thinking. No. That's John Cornyn. Yeah, that's John Cornyn. Ken Paxton, like I said, I don't care about his personal history because his personal history in his life does not affect me when it comes to voting. What affects me is how he votes. And what does he do for America and the American people? And right now, Ken Paxton is the only one in that particular voting that's going to do what we need done for the American people and America. That's what I'm voting for. I don't care about somebody's personal life. Everybody said, Donald Trump this, Donald. I don't give a crap what you think about that. All I care about, what are they going to do for America? Not for the rest of the world, but for America. You know, I don't get the idea that, we can't go with America first. Why is it that we have to, fall behind everybody else just to make them feel good? And while we suffer and pay for the rest of the world's problems and the rest of the world's, finances, we have to pay for that. They take our money and we get to go down and they go up. Yeah, that's what happened with China. All right? Now look what we got, right? Look what Obama did for Iran. Right? Gave him millions and millions and millions of dollars. And now we have what we have. Now we've had problems with Iran forever anyway, ever since the 1980s. Those of you who are my age, you understand, you were there. We were there. We watched it unfold, right, in the 1980s. We saw what was happening. At least I know I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember just like it was yesterday. So young people who say, oh, but we got no reason to be there. Well, maybe you need to step back in history and find out why we're there. It doesn't have to be what happened yesterday. But for 47, almost 50 years, we know what's been going on. And they've always kicked that can down the street. Then we've had some people capitulate to them, like Obama and Biden. capitulated to the Iranians for whatever reason, their own personal reasons, whatever. But it didn't serve us at all. Everybody wants to blame Donald Trump for this and that. Well, let me tell you, Donald Trump is not kicking the can down the road. He's not kicking the can down that road. He's picking up the can and throwing it back at you. And he's going to take care of it. Might take a little bit more time, but it's going to happen. Just give him time. He said, well, prices are going. Yeah, well, it's not like the prices didn't go up underneath Obama and Biden, because they did. I don't know if you remember that far back, but we had high gas prices before. Maybe not quite like they are right now or here in Texas, but we've had high prices before. So, we can deal with it. I deal with it. I don't like it. All right? I may not like it just like you don't like it, but I'm willing to forego this to get it done instead of kick it down the street to the next stupid president who won't do nothing about it. We finally have somebody that's actually is trying to get something done. And people have short memories. In our country, we have a short memory, Americans. We're not willing to accept a little bit of pain for the future. I am. I don't like it. Like I said, I may not like it, but I'm willing to accept it. So let's continue. All right, we got an election. Cornyn, Paxton. I'm voting Paxton. Because I know that Cornyn ain't going to do crap for me. And he hasn't done crap for me or the American people. But he's done everything he could. He's a rhino to go against Donald Trump. And that's it. All right, so, California. You know what's going on in California? The top two contenders for the governorship of California are Republicans. Now, they got a law in California, right? Hold on. Hello? Oh, you going to work? Okay. No, I don't think so, because they don't get there until 11, so we have to go later. I have to do Sunday, maybe. Okay? Okay, I love you. All right, so, sorry, that was my wife. I got one of them, too. I love her. Anyway, so listen here. So in California, the top two contenders for governor are Republicans. Go figure. Right? But in California, they have a policy that they voted in over 20 years ago. The Democrats did that. Says if you are the top two, only the top two can go and advance. The rest of the people are out. Only the top two. And the reason why they did that, because they wanted to make sure that the Democrats always had a fair shot at winning. Because then it would be two top Democrats. Because the Republicans never got that high anyway. But now we got two Republicans. So guess what they want to do? They want to have an emergency ballot and get rid of the top two tier. Because, they're in trouble. Because Republicans are the top two. And how about that? When you play in the game, right? Like Republicans are playing the game by the Democrats' rules. They're playing the game. And now the Democrats want to change the rules. It's like, getting down to the goal, right? And you want to kick that field goal, right? And instead of giving you that 35-yard shot, they're going to put you back 50 yards and make you kick it anyway, They want to change the rules on you, So the Democrats are trying to change the rules now in California because it doesn't suit them now. The Republicans are winning. How about that? But they're going to change the rules and try to take the win away from the Republicans. Because, Democrats, they talk about, Democrats always talk about that Republicans are cheating. Republicans change the game. No. The only ones that are cheating at any time has always been the Democrats. They're the ones who want dead people to vote, and they have had dead people voting. They're the ones who want illegal aliens to vote, and they have had illegal aliens vote. And then when they say that Republicans, are win, they go, wait a minute, we have to go back and count that because yeah, all of a sudden, or they extend the vote time so they can get more votes in there. You know, it's cheating, right? That's why we need to go to a voting day, one voting day, the day of the election or whatever. Go vote on that day and see how they do. I mean, you would think that they would like that because it's the Republicans that actually go out and work, right? That are working. It's the Democrats that are out there making trouble and stuff. It's the Democrats that are unemployed most of the time. So they have plenty of time to go vote. It's the Republicans that have to take time off of work, right? Miss a day's work or whatever, a couple hours of work to go vote. You would think that the Democrats would love that. But no, they want online voting. They want mail-in balloting. They want illegals to vote. They want dead people to vote. Yeah, they want anybody to vote but Republicans. Now when the Republicans have a chance to take the governorship with the two highest electoral people, the elected people, are Republicans, that's not good. Now they want to go ahead and change it back to the way it should be. They don't want the two top tier people to go because they're not Democrats. Oh, and they probably get what they want because they're gonna put an emergency balloting, and you know what's gonna happen? It's gonna be a ballot that is cheated on, and the Democrats will win it. They will cheat. They would cheat to get what they want, and it's gonna happen. It's always what happens in California in these Democrat states. Look, I know my brothers and sisters out there who are Democrats. Hey, I love you, but really, do you support that? You Democrats who are being honest about things, do you support that kind of stuff, really? Is that what we do in the United States? We change the rules just so the other party can't even get a chance to win? Because you want to change the rules right at the end of the game? Talk about fairness, right? Yeah. They can't win, so they have to cheat. And it's a known. We know what's happening. Now the thing is, can we stop it? Can we prevent them? You're not going to get a judge in California area to go against the Democrats. It's not going to happen. So going to court probably won't accomplish much. Unless, of course, we can get all the way to the Supreme Court. But I don't think the Supreme Court will be able to do anything about a state. It's a states' right thing. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But it sure is, unbelievable. Well, no, it's not unbelievable because it's the Democrat Party. They'll pull anything, any shady deal that they can find so they can stay in power. And that's California. That'd be New York and Chicago. And these Democrat-run areas would do anything they can to cheat. Well, I know you guys say, well, what about the changing of the maps? Wait a minute. You guys are the ones, the Democrats are the ones who talk about racist. Everything is racist. It's all about racial things, right? And when you start drawing maps by the color of your skin, that's racist. But see, you don't like it as long as you are against racism, as long as it is against the Republicans. But racism that goes with the Democrats, that goes down their road, they don't mind, as long as it helps them to win. So you want to change maps by races. That's not good. See, that's racism in itself. Drawing maps along racial lines, the racism is inside that little thing right there called racial lines. That's racist. But that doesn't matter when it's a Democrat. If they, like Virginia, it's a Democrat governor, wants to change the maps, right, by racism. Racist and racist. She wants to draw it along racial lines. Well, now all of a sudden, all these maps that were drawn in the Democrat areas along racial lines are being erased. And the Democrats don't like it because they're saying it's racist. Well, how is it racist? When you drew the lines because of racism, and now we're taking the lines away, and now that's racism. So what do you want? You said draw the lines around racial lines. draw those borders around racial lines. But that was racist. The judges said so. That's racist. You can't do that. And now they say you got to draw them back the way they were. Before they were racist. Now they don't like it. Why? Because they only can win that way. It's called cheating. Oh, don't we love it? In Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, all these others, Louisiana, it all started down there, right? These racial maps. These maps that went way over here, way down there, and went around here, way over here, and back up over there, and just because it wanted to have a racial block. Having a representative that's going to Congress simply because they're black, that's an automatic win for the Democrat Party, right? That's an automatic congressman going to Congress or the Senate because of racism. Because they got there because they're black. And they were coming from those black, they made these black areas to put black people in there. That in itself is racist. But you can't convince anybody in the Democrat Party from saying, there's no racist. But if a white person did it, it's racist. It's amazing how it goes down only one side of the street and it doesn't come back on the other side. It's amazing that only it comes down to white people going that, then that's racist. But if a black person goes, it's not racist. I mean, I went to an all-black beauty college when I was going to school for barbering. I didn't go to barber college at first. I went to cosmetology, a beauty college. And I went in Atlanta, up in northern Atlanta area, Gwinnett County area, all right? And it was an all-black beauty college. Everybody in there was black except for me, and maybe one or two more. But I was the only white guy in there. And I remember when I finally got on the floor, you know, I went through the classes and stuff. You have to go to, then it's your turn to go to the floor, right? It's your time period. And I was on the floor, and I was, you know, you do your mannequins and stuff on the floor, but that's when you get the real customers too. You get the chance to get a real customer, a real person. And I remember the lady said, Mr. Owen, it's your turn, Mr. Owen. I said, all right. So I started walking down, you know, like in slow motion. Oh yeah, my turn. And the little black lady said, her eyes got big. She said, oh hell, is that man gonna cut my hair? Oh hell no, ain't no white man gonna cut my hair. Oh hell no. She said like that, you know. And then the instructor said, Mr. Owen, go on back, you sit and we get you later. So I never cut anybody's hair. Black people didn't want the white man to cut their hair. To me, that's racist. The instructor said, oh man, it's not racist, Mr. Owen. It's just culture, man. You just don't understand the culture. Oh, so I said, oh, yeah, I understand the culture just fine. I understand the culture just fine. What the culture is that you're racist. And this process that we're going through is racist. So, no, it's not. No, you just don't understand. It's just a cultural thing. I said, yeah, I understand the culture of racism. It works only on white people. Only white people can be racist, but not black people. Black people and brown people cannot be racist because it's a cultural thing. We just don't, as us white folks, we just don't understand. We just don't understand the culture of a white or brown person because we too white. So they can say that we is black. I mean, they can call us the cracker. They can call us the man. They can call us a snow cone. They call us all this other stuff, right? But man, that's not racist. They call me a redneck. You know, when you call me a redneck, and I'm gonna say this directly, and you're not gonna like what I say, but this is what it means. When you call a white country boy a redneck, you are in fact just calling me a white nigger. I know you don't like that word because you've been taught that's bad. You can't say that. I can say it, and that's another thing. Why is it that the only white folks are the only ones whose speech is limited? Our speech, we don't have freedom of speech as a white person. You see, we have to check ourselves every time we open our mouths because everything we say is racist somehow. But boy, you can let a black person and a brown person go, their tongue just be wiggling and waggling, talking about all kinds of racial stuff, and nobody calls them on it. Because only white folks is racist. Now, I know you don't like hearing it that way, but that's the freaking truth. Hallelujah. But look, man, it's time for you to really get ready for work. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.